So, Pete, has anybody got any comments or thoughts to share from the chat room?
Well, I've got one question for Johnny, actually. David wants to know, what was the big moment that allowed you to break into the film business, and was that one of the 50?
Is that David in the next room?
It is, yeah.
Thank you for asking, David, and for following the conversation. You know, I don't think there's ever been one single thing for me. There's been a series of things, because every time you feel you have a success, you are then and you're a freelancer in the industry, you're kind of back to square one again. But I'll tell you one wonderful story, you know, which happened to me, and that was with, which I told again in the sessions, was with the Farrelly brothers, with Pete Farrelly, you know, who made There's Something About Mary. And that was, you know, when I made Foster, my short film. It was at the Rhode Island Film Festival and opening night, and you know, Pete couldn't make it. He was supposed to be there, but he wasn't, and I was gutted. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to send him the film in the hopes that he'll watch it, and I did. And you know, a few weeks later, I got a phone call. I'm walking down Cricklewood, and it's Pete Farrelly. I'm like, who the fuck's Pete Farrelly? It was so out of context, and once I realized who it was and I picked my jaw off the floor, you know, he said, look, I saw your short film and I was really moved by it. I've got 2 kids. Would you like to develop it into a feature? And I'm like, yeah. You know, flew over to LA, met with him. We went in and met with DreamWorks and Fox. And that was incredible. And that was, for me, I thought that was a break at the time. You know, it ended up not happening with him. But there's been many things like that for me over the years where I thought my break has come. You know, I think my most recent break has been just meeting my current producer, who produced Bend It Like Beckham, and he's been the one that's been pivotal in funding and financing my last 2 films. So for me, that's the most recent one.
It is, in fact, this whole notion of a break a complete myth, that you never have that break. You just have a series of incremental steps forward, some of them bigger and bolder than others, but you never feel like you've had that break, that mythological break that perpetuates you into it's all okay now.
Yeah, you know what, as I heard someone say, it's taken me 15 years to become an overnight success, which sums it up pretty well, I think.
Fantastic. Any other questions, Pete?
Yes. Quite a few people would like to know where your accent comes from.
Yes, I apologise for my bizarre accent. No, I am in fact British, but I moved to LA when I was 5 years old. Lived there for 8 years. For my sins, never quite lost the accent. So now I've got this kind of strange Lloyd Grossman type mid-Atlantic thing going on. So I do,
Fantastic. Well, look, last 2 questions, which I always ask everybody. What mistakes have you made in your career?
What mistakes have you made, Chris, in your career?
What a fabulous... listen, do you want to read the book? It's full of them.
Okay, no, I can tell you one, definitely. Script.
Yeah.
You know, I think going into production too early, I know we've talked about that and you've written about it. It's so key. Script and cast are the 2 single most important things in the filmmaking process. You know, you can have a great script and then you can miscast it and that will change your film entirely. It'll change the tone of your film. So casting is really, really key. And also, you know, when I write a script, I give it to as many critical voices as I can. Not just people that are going to tell me how brilliant it is, because nothing smells as good as your own